Kulamalsi. I'm D.A. Lockhart, and I'm the author of Bearmen Descend Upon Gimli from Frontenac Press. This is a poetry collection. There's actually a mythic novella in verse that follows Northwind, who is an exile living in Gimli, Manitoba, that sets up a bond spiel between many of the nations of Canada. And the book follows this. So I'm going to read you two poems today, conceptualize this curling and sort of where the poem is, where the books are set. So let's start with a little piece about what Northwind does. And this is the Artificer of Ice. Artificer of Ice. Know that all things commence in layers laid down as if a lineage of sediments over epochs. Glacial in the sense that time passes only as it will, not as one believes it must. Season after season returns. Departures become muscle twitch. Arrivals the necessity of being, and each layer a testament to the way we react to the world we are given. Follow as he outlines the means to execute an end. Facilitate the gentle sweep of broom over ice. The granite cascade as rock carries a touch's momentum. Outstretched hand dangled in mid-slide. Time is marked by layers we move upon, and by those we must leave behind. Bits of slow fought work must reach through to both proper ends. In Martin's spirit, dancing cold foot forward, side glances. This one man mists another layer into being, softly leaves ice beads indiscernible to those that will play out resultant ends on the sheet cast in lineage, partly his own. So a lot of the story is definitely driven by visions. A lot of our lives are as Indigenous people. And I think it's important to give you a vision here as part of this book. So we're going to share the vision that Northwind receives to start the Bonspiel. Northwind receives the Western Canada Lottery Corporation vision. Onward from the bedrock concrete of Portage in Maine, the announcement arrives like an open-wing hawk, settling in behind the retreating Red River, rattling forth in speaker sound from Northwest thrift store TVs, between Blue Bombers downs and ways one burns away in late season CFL games, emerges every other thing one should have done. 2 decades later, now in Gimli, except that one learns to listen for medicine songs and the rattles and shakes of metal. Grasp that trailer walls vibrate songs and dances and stories that have passed before Northwind. Many enough to think about years later. Belief leads one to epiphany. Understand, Creator determines that time. Northwind does. Follows the vision of a smooth, well-marked sheet, beat into the way that grass becomes ice along lake edge. Northwind feels the ice as his child, him the artificer of a clean sheet of perfection atop frozen earth, line playing through his head like petroglyphs along a Lake Huron shore. Bring a bonspiel home, suburb choir cheerfulness in each note. Apply today, be the man you must. When he comes to, still on his feet, he stands before the glassware shelves, sight rested on wood-tipped tumblers, each emblazoned with a large, stoic bear. Northwind purchased the set of bear tumblers, leaves into high, cold autumn sun of a cloudless sheet, flat lake town. Anushik for having me share this today with you, and I encourage you to check out the full story, the full novella from Frontenac Press, now available. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kristjana Gunnars, and this is a reading for the 45th anniversary of Turnstone Press, my erstwhile publisher, and greetings to my friends there. And you asked me to read a couple of poems, and I will read from one of my favorite books that was published. It's called A Carnival of Longing, published by Turnstone Press quite a while back. But I still, interesting how the poems kind of evolve with time and take on a different relevance as time passes. So this is a poem about time. I do not understand time, the sudden passing and abrupt jumps from one time to another, large gaps lost outside memory. I do not know where our life has gone, whether we have gone through it bravely or not, mistakenly or not. And there is much I do not remember. Large days without you. When you have receded out of focus, perhaps in the whistle of the train burrowing by at night, waking me from sleep. The speeding alarm on its rails that says, there's something we forgot. And the walls are shaking. Now, the other poem I'm going to read is also got something to do with time. And these poems are untitled. It's a one long poem, really, in various sections. I do not think the leaves are falling, although they lie in the grass, mustard and brown in bunches along the path where we walk. Leaves do not fall in this world. They blow forward with the wind and rustle in groups up the street. This is an autumn I cannot contain in the language on which we are carried. What we wanted to say, but no, that is not what we meant to say before we say it. So we are silent, hoping perhaps the breath that is ourselves is passed in a brief touching of hands or a look as we close the door, thinking there are very few trees in spite of the many leaves. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.